Hey everyone, let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like your brain has just stopped being your brain? Like it's become this full-time domestic operations team instead? You know exactly what I'm talking about. Instead of dreaming or wondering, your mind is just a constant rolling to-do list. If you feel more like a manager of your own life than the person who's actually living it, then it is absolutely time for a rescue mission. Today, we're diving into that exact moment, the moment your productivity officially swallows your personality.
So, does it? Really think about it. That voice that's supposed to be your own inner world, does it just sound like a running commentary of logistics? Right, we gotta call the bank, the groceries are low, oh, and did we ever send that follow-up email? You see, when your internal dialogue shifts from curiosity about the world to just a constant series of status updates, that is a huge red flag that your identity is getting totally lost in the grind.
All right, let's dive into the first major sign you might be caught in the productivity trap, the rise of what I call the administrative monologue. This is that moment where your consciousness stops being a space for your thoughts and feelings and, well, starts acting more like a spreadsheet, just constantly sorting, optimizing, and tracking everything.
Now, this shift, it's sneaky, but it is profound. Think about the last time you were in the shower or just driving your car. Did your mind get to wander freely, or did it immediately start itemizing your to-do list for the day? When your personality starts taking a back seat to your output, this monologue is what you start hearing on a loop all day long.
So, when you stop listening to yourself, a really strange thing starts to happen. You start desperately looking for someone else to do it for you. And this brings us to our second sign. It's this fascinating psychological shift where you basically begin to outsource the job of understanding your own inner life.
Have you ever watched a show and felt this deep, almost painful connection to a character? You know, you're thinking, wow, they would finally get me. This happens because you've stopped being a safe place for your own feelings. You're so busy managing your life that you've totally quit the job of being a witness to your own internal world. So what do? You start looking for a fictional replacement just to feel seen.
And that brings us to this really crucial distinction. On one side, we've got human experiences, but on the other, we have machine maintenance. When you're stuck in the productivity trap, you stop eating to enjoy a meal, you're just refueling. You don't sleep to rest, you recharge. All of your basic human needs, they become nothing more than overhead costs to keep the machine running. Okay, this next one. This is a big one. It's that moment we lose the ability to do things just for the heck of it, without needing some return on investment. It's the death of what you might call the useless hobby, which, as we're about to see, isn't useless at all.
So here it is, the crucial point. Your personality, the absolute core of who you are, it thrives in these so-called useless activities. It's that random song you try to learn on the guitar, or that weird documentary you watch late at night. The second every action needs to be leveraged into a side hustle or some new skill for your resume, you lose the part of yourself that simply exists and enjoys being in the present moment.
And this leads us to the final and, honestly, maybe the most insidious sign of all. This belief that your real life is just waiting for you on the other side of your to-do list. We tell ourselves, you know, once this big project is done, then I'll finally have time for my personality.
But here is the reality check, the cold, hard truth. That list, it will never, ever be finished. There's always going to be another chore, another email, another task. If you wait for all the work to be done before you allow yourself to just be, you are going to be waiting forever. Your identity gets permanently postponed.
Okay, so that was the diagnosis. And I know it can sound a little bleak. But how do we actually fix this? Well, the good news is it's not about quitting your job or letting your whole life fall apart. The solution actually lies in these small, consistent acts of self-attention.
It's really just about taking these tiny, deliberate moments to check in with yourself, not as a manager, but as a person. So 3 times a day, just pause, stop what you're doing, and ask a real question. Something that isn't about logistics. Maybe, what's one thing I'm curious about right now? Or, what feeling am I pushing aside to get things done?
30 seconds. That is literally all it takes. This isn't about adding another huge, overwhelming task to your list. It's about creating these tiny little windows of attention. It's how you start to remind your brain that you are a person who lives in a house, not just someone who manages it. This, right here, is how you begin to reclaim your identity from the grind.
So I'm going to leave you with this question, and I want you to really think about it right now. What is one small, beautifully useless thing you can do today? Not for productivity, not for a side hustle, but just because it brings you a little flicker of joy.